Imagine walking into Nigeria's Federal Secretariat, setting up an office on the second floor, forging the president's signature, opening 34 bank accounts, and getting your fake agency written into the national budget for ₦1 billion. You mean say $1 million? That's not a movie plot. That happened. And this week, the man at the center of it all, Prince Adeneyi Adeyemi Mathew, was finally dragged back to court after going on the run. I'm going to walk you through everything, how this started, how deep it goes, what he's going to say to defend himself, and what could happen to him now. Stay to the end, because the twist involved a hotel on fire and a dead witness. This is where it gets really very dark. Let's get into it. My name is Rimamnde Shawulu.
What is your name?
I've mentioned it, sir.
Mention it first.
They asked you.
What is your name?
I've answered you.
What is your name?
I've said it several times.
So who is Adeneyi Adeyemi Mathew? Officially, nobody. That's literally the government's position. But here's who he claimed to be: the Director General of something called the Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, sometimes also styled as Presidential Economic Advisory Council. Sounds official. Federal Secretariat address, State House letterhead, Presidential Appointment Letter dated March 8, 2024, supposedly signed by the President himself and countersigned by his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. Problem is, this agency never existed. No enabling law, no budget history, nothing. And yet Adeyemi ran it like a real government body for close to 2 years, hosting foreign ambassadors, opening central bank accounts, and even trying to get the US visa issued for his staff. Let's build the timeline because the sequence matters. On October 10, 2025, Adeyemi hosts foreign ambassadors at a hotel in Asokoro, Abuja, not telling the foreign ministry. That's a diplomatic red flag. The ministry, of course, notices and starts asking questions internally. That same October 17, 2025, Chief of Staff Olufemi Hakeem Gbajabiamila writes formally to the DSS and the police. His message is, "I don't know this man. I never signed this letter. Investigate him." This is the whistle that starts everything. On October 22, 2025, it is 5 days later, a man named Dolapo Babatunde, described as a key intermediary in the scheme, dies in a fire at the Kachi Hotel in Abuja. Police later confirmed his body at the morgue. We'll come back to this later. And then on October 27, 2025, police stormed Adeyemi's office on the second floor of the Federal Secretariat and searched his home in Suleja. He is arrested for 23 days and released while investigations were expected to continue. And here is the part that turned this from a local scandal into a national embarrassment. Somehow, this fictitious council shows up with a 1.3 billion naira budget line in Nigeria's 2026 budget. The Senate says he never put it there. The Accountant General Office says the PFIPC never actually operated a CBN account or received the money. But the fact that it got that far into an actual appropriation act is why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had to set up the ICPC investigation, whose report is supposed to be turned in within 30 days. On November 27, 2025, the police formally filed charges against Adeyemi. Case number FHABJ CR 562-2025. Federal High Court, Abuja. Judge Justice Mohammed Umar. 3 defendants in all were charged. Adeyemi plus 2 men, only known as Femi and Ano, who are still at large. 8 counts in all, broken down into 3 buckets. The first one, conspiracy to commit forgery and impersonation. The second, forgery, and this is the bulk of the charge: forging the presidential appointment letter, forging State House letterheads, forging a conveyance approval for the council's establishment, forging the request to open staff bank accounts, forging office space applications, forging letters seeking collaboration with a federal ministry across 36 states. That's the heavy one. Under Section 1, Subsection 2C of the Miscellaneous Offences Act, they face up to 21 years imprisonment with no option of paying fine. 3. Impersonation, falsely presenting himself as Director General of a council that does not exist. That is Section 179 of the Penal Code, and that carries up to 3 years, or a fine. The witness list is long, of course. It includes the Chief of Staff himself, Femi Gbajabiamila, Accountant General's office, people who reportedly were posted to work at a fake agency, the owner of the hotel where Tani Mola died, and even a clergyman. The evidence includes the forged letter, CBN paperwork. Now, here's where it gets like a thriller. Adeyemi caught dead kept getting pushed. June 26, 2026, he doesn't show up, citing ill health. The case is adjourned. Then when it comes up again, he does not show up. The prosecutor tells the judge this is the fifth adjournment, and every single one of them has been because of the defendant. The judge had had enough. He issued a bench warrant and ordered to arrest him on site. And interestingly, within hours, Adeyemi was found, not in Abuja, but hiding in Osun State, more than 300 kilometers away. The intelligence response team, part of the Inspector General of Police Special Forces, tracks him down. Video shows him in a light blue traditional outfit, surrounded by security operatives. And it turns out that he was not just hiding from the court that day. He had reportedly been trailed by the DSS for over 1 week and has switched off his phones for 2 days straight to avoid dictation. Now, every good investigation gives the accused a voice. So, what is Adeyemi actually saying? He had 3 claims. The first one is that he is not hiding, he is scared. In a channel's television interview before his rearrest, he said, and accord, he was ready to show his face. He wasn't hiding, but he feared for his life, and there had been several attempts on his life. 2, he paid for the job. Adeyemi repeatedly alleged that he paid 400 million naira through an intermediary to secure the Director General's appointment, money he says he borrowed, and that his creditors have since petitioned the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over the transaction. In plain terms, he is saying senior officials sold him the fake position. Claim 3, after he paid, they tried to take control. He accused unnamed senior government officials of soliciting that bribe during his appointment process, and then later trying to seize control of the finances of the council once it was set up and running. The presidency, of course, has repeatedly and firmly denied all of this. And then there's the Tanimola connection, has directly linked his decision to go underground to the death of Dolapo Tanimola, the man he describes as a key intermediary in the whole arrangement, who died in that hotel fire just 5 days before Adeyemi's first arrest. He's essentially implying, look what happened to the last guy connected to this. His lawyer, Genesis Francis, has separately said that he went over a month without being able to reach his client before the Osun rearrest, and told the police someone has to be alive for justice to be served. On the other hand, the presidency has been unusually detailed in pushing back against Adeyemi. A statement from the special advisor, Bayo Onanuga, laid out the full case, the petition, the arrest, the forged documents, and specifically warned politicians against linking the scandal to the chief of staff. But it's not just the presidency defending itself. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana has pushed back on the government too, arguing that the presidency doesn't have the constitutional power to clear anyone's name on its own, and calling for an independent proof of both Femi Gbajabiamila and Adeneyi Adeyemi. With Adeyemi back in custody, the case is expected to return to court around July 27, where arraignment can finally proceed. Well, there are a few realistic outcomes that we should expect. The first one is perhaps straightforward trial on the merits. And frankly, the documentary evidence here is heavy. The forged letter, the forensic signature analysis, the bank records. That's a tough case to walk away from. And 2, a plea deal, especially if Adeyemi offers to help locate his 2 still missing co-defendants, Femi and Anu. And 3, stricter bail conditions, or none at all, given that he's already jumped bail once and needed a multi-state manhunt to bring back. And the 4th is the parallel track, ICPC's 30-day investigation into how this fake agency got 1.3 billion budget line is a completely separate question from the criminal trial, and arguably the bigger institutional scandal, because it is not really about one man anymore. It is about how Nigeria's budgeting process let a ghost agency in. So here's the bottom line. Whether Adeyemi is a con man who forged his way into the federal government or a fall guy for something much bigger, Honestly, both. This case is going to keep testing how accountability actually reaches the people at the top. Well, after the court case on the 27th, we'll bring you more update the moment it drops. Remember to hit and subscribe and turn on notifications because this story is far from over. Drop your comment. Do you believe him or the presidency? I will read the top ones in the next video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. My name is Rimamnde Shawulu. This is The Other Side.